Here are 5 haunted areas / urban legends located in Kentucky. The London House. Located in Lexington, Kentucky, the London House is considered one of the largest and finest examples of Gothic Revival architecture in the state. Designed by the New York architect Alexander Jackson Davis, the house was built in 1851 for Francis Key Hunt. Following the death of his father, he inherited more than $1 million and set to building the London House. The project was expected to cost $10,000, but wound up costing 3 times that amount. He named the home London House in honor of the song The Bells of London, which was his wife's favorite. There are a few different paranormal accounts accompanying this location. The first one is a Victorian woman who roams the western half of the house. An apparition of a black cat is usually seen in this area. There is also accounts of another Victorian woman, usually accompanying the former dining room, as well as antique floral perfume that lingers in the room now used as a studio. Disembodied voices and strains of ballroom music are also heard. The Pope Lick Monster. The Pope Lick Monster is a legendary part man, part goat, part sheep urban legend creature reported to live beneath the Norfolk Southern Railway over Pope Lick Creek. Numerous urban legends exist about the creature's origins and the method it employs to claim its victims. According to some accounts, the creature uses either hypnosis or voice mimicry to lure trespassers in the trestle to meet their death before an oncoming train. Other stories claim the monster jumps down from the trestle on the roofs of cars passing beneath it. Other legends tell that it attacks its victims with a blood-stained axe, and that the very sight of the creature is so unsettling that those who see it while walking across the high trestle are driven to leap off. There have been a number of deaths and accidents at the trestle since its construction, despite the presence of an 8-foot fence to keep thrill seekers out. Bobby Mackey's Music World is a nightclub and honky-tonk located in Wilder, Kentucky. Promoted in popular culture as America's most haunted nightclub, Mackey claims that the site was originally used as a slaughterhouse and in the early 19th century was later torn down as a construction of a roadhouse that took various names, such as Briansbane, until he purchased it in 1978. Various urban legends and modern folklore claim that the site features a gateway to hell and is haunted by spirits including Pearl Bryan, whose corpse was found 2.5 miles away at Fort Thomas from the original site. There is also a legend that claims a pregnant dancer named Joanna committed suicide with poison in the 1950s after her father murdered her lover, Robert Randall, a singer in the nightclub, by hanging him in the dressing room. Investigations have failed to find public records of any such events, and research into property records, newspapers, and court files has failed to find anything to sustain these claims made regarding the history to this location. Mammoth Cave is a U.S. national park in central Kentucky. It's also known as the largest cave system in the world. It's also known to include more than 390 miles of passageways. New discoveries and connections add several miles to this figure each year. Mammoth Cave National Park was established to preserve the cave system. There are many stories of ghosts at Mammoth Cave, spanning several generations of visitors, guides, and service personnel. These eerie stories tell of unexplained sounds, strange lights, and bizarre noises, disembodied footsteps, and of course, apparitions and spirits. In February of 1858, an article appeared in Knickerbocker magazine called A Tragedy in Mammoth Cave. The story tells of a girl named Melissa, who confessed the entire tale on her deathbed, having succumbed to tuberculosis. Melissa, who was a southern girl, lived in the vicinity of the Mammoth Cave, and she had fallen in love with her tutor from Boston, a young man named Beverly. The tutor had ignored Melissa's affections and began courting a neighbor girl instead. Melissa plotted her revenge. Having grown up in the area, she knew well the twists and turns of Mammoth Cave, and with careful planning, she lured Mr. Beverly into the cave. She conducted him on a tour to the depths of the cave at a place called Echo River. Here she vanished into the side of the passage and left poor Beverly to find his way out. Days passed and Beverly did not return. Melissa had only meant the whole thing as a cruel joke, and so in despair she went back to the cave to look for him. She made daily tracks underground, searching and calling out for him, but Beverly was never found. Okay, so finally we have Waverly Hills Sanitarium. The Waverly Hills Sanitarium is a closed sanitarium located in southern western Louisville County, Kentucky. It opened in 1910 as a two-story hospital to accommodate 40 to 50 tuberculosis patients. In the early 1900s, Jefferson County was ravaged by an outbreak of tuberculosis, also known as the White Plague, which prompted the construction of the new hospital. The hospital closed in 1962 due to a new antibiotic drug that lowered the need for such as a hospital. Some urban legends claimed that over 63,000 deaths occurred at the sanitarium. One of the legends told of Waverly Hills involves a man in a white coat who has been seen walking in the kitchen and the smell of cooking food that lingers in that room. During their initial visit, they found the kitchen was a disaster and a ruin of broken windows, fallen plaster, broken tables, chairs, and puddles of water and debris that resulted from her leaking roof. The cafeteria was not fared much better. It was also in the ruins that the team quickly retreated. Before they could do so, several of them reported sounds of footsteps, the door swinging shut, and the smell of fresh baked bread was in the air. They could come up with no logical explanation for what occurred. The sanitarium has been featured on ABC, Family Channel's Scariest Places on Earth, VH1's Celebrity Paranormal Project, Sci-Fi's Ghost Hunters, Zone Reality's Creep, the British show Most Haunted, Paranormal Challenge, and Ghost Adventures from the Travel Channel.